Hari. राधा माधव भगवान की, श्री राधा दामोदर भगवान की, श्री राधा कालचंद्र भगवान की. No, we read from that. Thank you, Madhavi. Thank you very much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayet Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Canto 9, Chapter 10, verse number 12 onward all the way to 23. Focus verse is 23. So I like your help. If you can read the translations from the text 12 all the way till 23, then we'll focus on 23.
Lord Ramachandra, whose lotus feet are worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, had assumed the form of a human being. Thus he performed the funeral ceremony of Jatayu, who was killed by Ravana. The Lord then killed a demon named Kadamba, and after making friends with the monkey chiefs, killing Vali and arranging for the deliverance of Mother Sita, he went to the beach of the ocean. After reaching the beach, Lord Ramachandra fasted for 3 days, awaiting the arrival of the ocean personified. When the ocean did not come, the Lord exhibited his pastimes of anger, and simply by his glancing over the ocean, all the living entities within it, including the crocodiles and sharks, were agitated by fear. Then the personified ocean fearfully approached Lord Ramachandra to worship, taking all paraphernalia to worship him. Falling at the Lord's feet, the personified ocean spoke as follows.
O all-pervading Supreme Person, we are dull-minded and did not understand who you are. But now we understand that you are the Supreme Person, the Master of the entire universe, the unchanging and original personality of Godhead. The demigods are infatuated with the mode of goodness, and the Prajapatis with the mode of passion, and the Lord of Ghosts with mode of ignorance. But you are the Master of all these qualities.
My lord, you may use my water as you like. Indeed, you may cross it and go to the abode of Ravana, who is this great source of disturbance and crying for the 3 worlds. He is the son of Vishrava, but is condemned like urine. Please go kill him, and thus regain your wife Sita Devi. O great hero, although my water presents no impediment to your going to Lanka, please construct a bridge over it to spread your transcendental fame. Upon seeing this wonderfully uncommon deed of your lordship, all the great heroes and kings in the future will glorify you.
Shukadev Goswami said, after constructing a bridge over the ocean by throwing into the water the peaks of mountains whose trees and other vegetation had been shaken by the hands of great monkeys, Lord Ramachandra went to Lanka to release Sita Devi from the clutches of Ravana. With the direction and help of Vibhishana, Ravana's brother, the Lord, along with the monkey soldiers, headed by Sugriva, Nila, and Hanuman, entered Ravana's kingdom, Lanka, which had previously been burnt by Hanuman.
After entering Lanka, the monkey soldiers, led by chiefs like Sugriva, Nila, and Hanuman, occupied all sporting houses, granaries, treasuries, palace doorways, city gateways, assembly houses, place frontages, palace frontages, and even the resting houses of the pigeons. When the city's crossroads, platforms, flags, and golden water ports on the domes were all destroyed, the entire city of Lanka appeared like a river disturbed by a herd of elephants.
When Ravana, the master of the Rakshasas, saw the disturbances created by the monkey soldiers, he called for Nikumba, Kumba, Dhumraksha, Durmukha, Turantaka, Narantaka, and other Rakshasas, and also his son Indrajit. Therefore he called for Brahasta, Atikya, Vikamampana, and finally Kumbhakarna. Then he induced all his followers to fight against the enemies.
Lord Ramachandra, surrounded by Lakshman and monkey soldiers like Sugriv, Hanuman, Gandhamada, Nila, Angada, Jambavan, and Panasa, attacked the soldiers of the Rakshasas, who were fully equipped with various invincible weapons, like swords, lances, bows, prasas, rishtis, shakti, arrows, kagdas, and tomaras.
Angada and the other commanders of the soldiers of Ramachandra faced the elephants, infantry, horses, and chariots of the enemy and hurled against them big trees, mountain peaks, clubs, and arrows. Thus the soldiers of Lord Ramachandra killed Ravana's soldiers, who had lost all good fortune because Ravana had been condemned by the anger of Mother Sita.
Thereafter, when Ravana, the king of the Rakshasas, observed that his soldiers had been lost, he was extremely angry. Thus he mounted his airplane, which was decorated with flowers, and proceeded towards Lord Ramchandra, who sat on the effulgent chariot brought by Mitali, the chariot driver of Indra. Then Ravana struck Lord Ramchandra with sharp arrows.
Text 22. Lord Ramachandra said to Ravana, "You are the most abominable of the man-eaters. Indeed, you are like their stool. You resemble a dog, for as a dog steals edibles from the kitchen in the absence of the householder, in my absence you kidnap my wife, Sita Devi. Therefore, as Yamaraj punishes sinful men, I shall also punish you. You are most abominable, sinful, and shameless. Today, therefore, I, whose attempt never fails, shall punish you."
We can read, yeah.
Going to text 23.
Okay, so let me then read the Sanskrit and we'll focus on this verse. Evam shepan dhanushi sandhitam utsasarja Banam savajram iva tadhirdayam bibheda So sargavaman dashamakhair nyapatad vimanad Ha heti jalapati jane sukriti varikta. So some words, some letters are mixed, not making the words sound properly. One is in the second line. It's not dhridayam, it's a hirdayam. The tad, extra D is added there. And in the last one, it's not dhaheti, it's the haheti. They are making ha-ha-kar. So this is a hahiti. Just remember that. एवं क्षिपन् धनुषि सन्धितम् उत्ससर्ज बाणं सवज्रम् इव तद् हृदयं बिभेद ससर्गवमन् दशमखैर्निपतद् विमानात् हाहेति जल्पति जने सुकृतीव रिक्ता Please chant. एवं क्षिपन् धनुषि संधितम् उत्ससर्ज बाणं सवज्रम् इव तद् हृदयं बिभेद ससर्गवमन् दशमखे न्यपतत् विमानात् आहेति जल्पति जने सुकृतीव रिक्ता एवं क्षिपन् धनुषि संधितम् उत्ससर्ज बाणं सवज्रम् इव तद् हृदयं बिभेद ससर्गवमन् दशमखैर्न्यपतद् विमानात् हाहेति जल्पति जने सुकृतीव रिक्ता. Okay, let's see the word by word meaning. Evam, in this way. Shipan, chastising Ravana. Dhanushi, on the bow. Sandhitam, fixed an arrow. Utsasarja, no. Released towards him. Banam, the arrow. Sa, that arrow. Vajram iva, like a thunderbolt. Tad hridayam, the heart of Ravana. Bibheda, pierced. Sa, he, Ravana. Asarka, blood. Vaman, vomiting. Dashmakhai, through the 10 mouths. Near fell down. Vimanat, from his airplane. Ha ha, alas, what happened? Iti, thus. Jalpati, roaring. Jane, when all the people present there. Sukriti iva, like a pious man. Rikta, when the results of his pious activities are finished. Translation. After thus rebuking Ravana, the Lord Ramachandra fixed an arrow on his bow, aimed at Ravana, and released the arrow, which pierced Ravana's heart like a thunderbolt. Upon seeing this, Ravana's followers raised a tumultuous sound, crying, "Alas, alas, what has happened? What has happened?" As Ravana, vomiting blood from his 10 mouths, fell from his airplane, just as a pious man falls to earth from the heavenly planets when the results of his pious activities are exhausted. Purport. Let me read the purport. In Bhagavad Gita 9:21, it is said, "Shine punne martilokam vishanti." When the results of their pious activities are exhausted, those who have enjoyed in the heavenly planets fall again to earth. The fruitive activities of this material world are such that whether one acts piously or impiously, one must remain within the material world according to different conditions. For neither pious nor impious action can relieve one from the Maya's clutches of repeated birth and death. Somehow or other, Ravana was raised to an exalted position as the king of a great kingdom with all material opulences, but because of his sinful act of kidnapping Mother Sita all the results of his pious activities were destroyed. If one offends an exalted personality, especially the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one certainly becomes most abominable, bereft of the results of pious activities. One must fall down like Ravana and other demons. It is therefore advised that one transcend both pious and impious activities and remain in the pure state of freedom from all designation. Sarvapadi vinirmukta tad paratvena nirmalam. When one is fixed in devotional service, he is above the material platform. On the material platform, there are higher and lower positions, but when one is above the material platform, he is always fixed in a spiritual position. Sa gunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Ravana or those like him may be very powerful and opulent in this material world, but theirs is not a secure position, because after all, they are bound by the results of their karma. Karmana daiva netrena. We should not forget that we are completely dependent on the laws of nature. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankar vimuratma kartaham iti manyate. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by nature. Bhagavad Gita 3:27. One should not be proud of one's exalted position and act like Ravana, thinking oneself independent of material nature's laws. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Pitam Shah. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Shri Vangshakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhye vicha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharin Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatyestarine. We have a strict timeline defined, so we have a limited time. That's why I'm just going very fast. So, just like Sukadeva Goswami is going very fast with the Ramayana. We just read how many verses? 12 to 23, and so many events have been covered. Actually, in the text 4, he has covered entire Ramayana once. And before beginning, he is telling Sukadeva Goswami, Parishad Maharaj that you have been hearing Ramayana since your childhood many times. Many realized souls have narrated that. So I'm just going to cover in brief. So this is the fastest he's speaking. So let's still try to extract a few discussion points from here. So actually in India, the pastimes of Lord Ram are more accessible than pastimes of Lord Krishna. This is my personal experience. From my childhood, not that we have anywhere close to being a devotee, what to speak of pure devotee, but little attraction was there towards pastimes of Lord Ram. And about Krishna, it was difficult to comprehend the personality of Krishna. He is always so decorated, his activities are so sometimes crooked, not able to understand what's going on. So relating to Lord Ram as Supreme Lord was easier, because he presented himself as Maryada Purushottam Ram. And ones who are not pure, those who are not purified at heart, for them to appreciate such example is more easier than to appreciate transcendental. Both are transcendental, but Krishna is even beyond. So it's very hard to appreciate Krishna's activities when one is not purified. So in that way, Lord Ram is very merciful that he allows himself to be more accessible to common people as compared to Lord Krishna, as we have experienced living in the Indian culture there. So here we see that Lord Ram has killed Ravana in the verse of focus today. Ravana is a devotee of Lord Shiva. And so we never see an example that Lord Vishnu's, Lord Ram's, Lord Krishna's devotees are killed by other demigods, but other demigods, demons, the demons who are worshipped of other demigods, they are being killed. We see many, many examples of that. Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, So that proves that Lord Vishnu has a superior position. And this is the first verse that we read today, text number 12, where translation says that Lord Ram's lotus feet are worshipped by both Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. And that's the last verse is also conveying the same meaning there. So, Rakhi Krishna Mare Krishna, Rakhi Ke. So when Lord Ram decides to kill somebody, nobody can defend that. And Lord Ram says in the text number 22, that my effort never fail. That's so good to hear from Lord Ram's mouth himself, right? From his words on himself, that he is claiming that my efforts never fail. So let's see. I want to relate one pastime. So in this series of verses, we have seen how Lord Ram is traveling after Mother Sita has been abducted by Ravana. How he is traveling, and then how he reached the ocean. Then ocean is not responding to Lord Ram's request to open the ways. Then he chastises the ocean, and then they build the bridge, and then all the monkeys cross over, and then they create havoc in the kingdom of Lanka. There's a battle, great battle ensues, and then Lord Ram and Ravana comes face to face, and Ravana is killed. So all of these events are narrated. So just I want to focus on one incident that happened. It's described in some other Purana, probably Padma Puran, that Lord Shiva is such an authority on the pastimes of Lord Ram himself. He is a great devotee of Lord Ram. He's always thinking of Lord Ram. And in spite of being one of the greatest authority on the pastimes of Lord Ram, he likes to go to other devotees and hear from them about Lord Ram's story. So he would travel occasionally with Mother Sati. At that time it was Mother Sati with him. So Mother Parvati came later in the reappearance in the new body. So Mother Sati and Lord Shiva would go to Sage Agastya ashram and hear about Lord Ram's pastime. So Lord Shiva would always hear attentively. Although he is the one who could describe the pastime of Lord Ram in the best possible way, but he would still like to hear from other devotees. That's a sign of somebody who really appreciates Katha of Lord, that they are not just attached to speaking, they're also attached to hearing from other devotees, even though they may speak imperfectly. So Lord Shiva would hear. Mother Sati fell asleep. She did not hear attentively. On the way back, when they were coming back, actually that time Lord Ram's pastimes was actually going on also. So in the forest, Lord Ram was crying because Mother Sita was stolen by Ravana. So then Lord Shiva pays obeisances to Lord Ram from distance. He didn't want to disturb the mood of Lord Ram because he is in the pastime. So he didn't want to come and remind Lord that, oh, you are the Lord, so then that will be the sabhas. So he didn't want to do that. So he just, from distance, he paid obeisances and was going. Mother Sati said, he is Lord Ram. He's just crying like a normal man, like so much attached. That's what Sukdev Goswami is saying in a verse, that he is showing an example of how a man, common man attached to the wife will suffer, right? That when you're too much attached to your relatives, you're in the material relationships, then it yields suffering, unless it's spiritualized through the connection with Krishna. So Mother Sati is not able to appreciate that this is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ram, whom Lord Shiva is worshipping. So she wanted to test Lord Ram. So she said to Lord Shiva that, I want to go and meet him and test him. Lord Shiva advised, don't do, I don't advise that. So she was insistent. So Lord Shiva said, okay, I'm going, you do what you want to do. So Lord Shiva, this characteristic we have seen in the Daksha pastime also, that Mother Sati wanted to go to her father's house. Lord Shiva is stopping her, but she's insistent. And Lord Shiva says, okay, you do whatever you want to do. He's allowing, the strong desire of her. So she comes, and what she does, she takes the form of Mother Sita and comes in front of Lord Ram to surprise him that, oh, I am not lost, I am here only, right? So Lord Ram is crying, and he's asking every tree, every creeper, every animal, where have you seen my Sita, have you seen my Sita? And then he sees Mother Sati, and she was expecting he would say that, oh, Sita, you are here. But he said, oh, Mother, you are here? Where is our Lord Shiva? Then she was taken aback immediately by that oh, he recognized me, that he's not seeing that I am in the body of Mother Sita. So Lord Ram immediately, and then she felt shy suddenly, and then she said, oh, I just want, he's there. Like she couldn't even respond properly, and then she went away. So then Lord Shiva laughed at her and then said, what happened? Did you meet Lord Ram? Then she narrated everything. Yes, now I can acknowledge. Actually, because she took the form of Mother Sita, so Lord Shiva could not accept her as wife from that point on, but in the proper sense of husband-wife relationship, right? And then she has to leave that body and come back as Parvati again. And then they were properly engaged. So that's a very interesting episode, that how Lord Shiva always knows the glories of Lord Ram. So that's the verse says that Lord Shiva and Brahma always worship lotus feet of Lord Ram. And this verse also talk about a great devotee, Jatayu. Jatayu and what's his brother's name? Sampati. They were two brothers, very glorious, very powerful. So Jatayu was friend of Dasharath Maharaj. And he happened to see hear the crying of Mother Sita when Ravana was stealing her, and he gave his life trying to prevent that to happen. In the process, Ravana killed him. So he was a failure. Jatayu was a failure. He couldn't do any damage. He could not prevent. He could not service the cause of Lord Ram, just like Hanumanji did. Hanumanji was success, right? Arjuna, Hanuman, they are example of great success. And Jatayu, externally speaking, is an example of failure. And he was dying, and Lord Ram was walking through, and he happened to meet Jatayu on the verge of death. And Lord Ram appreciated Jatayu equally as Hanumanji, as Arjuna. Because in the eyes of Lord, if you do service, if you attempt to do service, that attempt itself is a success. Because the results are not in our hand. Krishna says, the very basic teaching in Bhagavad Gita, Karmande vadhikarasya ma phaleshu kadachana, that your right is only to do your duty. Whatever happens, don't be attached to that, because that's the wish of Krishna. That how he want to use the results of what outcome he want, he will bring that. So here, and then he was so happy with Jatayu, Lord Ram, that he gave to Jatayu what he did not give to his own father. So when Dasharath Maharaj was separated from Lord Ram, Dasharath Maharaj was so sad that he could not hold his life, and he passed away. And in the last moment, he was crying in separation from Lord Ram, and he wanted Lord Ram to be near him. And Lord Ram was not there even to do his last rites, but Lord Ram did the last rites for Jatayu. Jatayu passed away in the hands of Lord Ram, and Lord Ram personally ensured he goes back to Godhead. The Vimana came in front of Lord Ram, and he went back to Vaikuntha. So he gave to Jatayu what he did not even give to his father, just to draw the contrast that how much he appreciated the efforts of Jatayu, even though externally speaking he was a failure, right? So in the eyes of Lord, just your attempt to do service is glorious, and that's a success. So next we move on to the next pastime of Lord Ram came near the ocean, and it was a great ocean. So it's not humanly possible to cross that ocean, but Lord Ram had faith that ocean will be nice to him, and he sat down in meditation to invite ocean so that he can help. But ocean neglected Lord Ram, thinking, oh, he's a human being. What are these set of monkeys and this man doing here on my shore? I don't care. So he didn't respond. 3 days passed. Then Lakshmana was always agitated behind Lord Ram that, please allow me, I will dry up this ocean. Lord Ram, no, we should first psalm them, and we should first approach with non-destructive ways. So then eventually, then Lord Ram opened his eyes, and he just raised his eyebrows and in anger, and that boiled the ocean water, and all the crocodiles, all the animals in the water were also beginning to feel the heat, and ocean came running. And then he asked forgiveness in so many different ways. And then here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that even ocean is saying that all of us in the material world is controlled by mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, like demigods are controlled by mode of goodness. The Prajapati is the one who procreate and fill up the universe with the population. They are controlled by mode of passion and opulence, accumulations. And then ghosts, the goblins, they are controlled by mode of ignorance, animals. So everybody is controlled by modes, and the ocean is saying, Lord, you are beyond the modes, but because we are controlled by the modes, we cannot understand you, we cannot appreciate you. So that's why, so when there is a punishment, when there is a hardship, when there is suffering, then our eyes tend to open, if we are Sukriti. So not that just because anybody suffering will actually understand the Lord, will actually seek the Lord. There's another principle, along with suffering combined with doing some sukriti, some mercy of devotee in the past, or some pious credit you must have done, then you will be able to approach the Lord. And so Lord have two mechanisms to remind us. He does superhuman activities to remind us that he is not common with us. He does common activities, so that tends to make us bewildered, like Krishna's pastimes, Brahma Leela. We'll discuss that today evening. So even what to speak of common people, the great demigods like Lord Brahma, even the wife of Lord Shiva, even Lord Shiva himself sometimes get bewildered from the Lord. So I was thinking that what's the biggest creation of the Lord? So one may think, oh, this universe, wonderful universe, the great oceans, mountains. We may think of these things as the biggest creation. The things are not the biggest creation. The biggest creation of the Lord is the chit, the conscious being, the jiva. Because whatever is the biggest creation will be experienced by somebody, right? Unless it's experienced by somebody, there is no meaning to that biggest creation. So this experiencing beings, the created beings, the jivas are the biggest creation of the Lord. And what's the greatest power of the Lord? To put those into illusion, to make them believe something which is not, right? So he puts everybody into illusion. That's why this Maya Shakti is only with the Lord Vishnu. So other great demigods like Brahma and Shiva, they have great powers of creation, destruction, but they don't have this illusory energy that Lord Vishnu carries, and that's the greatest power. Sometimes we may think in terms of physical sense, external sense, what's the meaning of power? But that's a real power of Lord, that he can bewilder anybody. And actually everybody is bewildered, whether in a positive way or negative way, right? We have to be the state of bewilderment. One is called negative because it's away from the Lord. Other is positive because in the Yoga Maya. So we have to be always under some energy of the Lord, both of them. So here Ocean is admitting his mistake and expressing that sorry for his mistake, and he's giving a nice suggestion that Lord, please cross over me. By your power you can float the stones and cross over, and then you will be glorified for doing this superhuman feat. So in this small mention there that Ravana was referred to as the one who caused crying for others. That's why his name was Ravana, the one who makes others cry. And he is being referred to as the word as an excretion from the body. That's the word is mutra, right? It's an excretion from the body. And the putra means putrayate iti putra, the one who is able to deliver his father from the hell. Pu is one of the hells. So one who is able to relieve his parents from the hell, they are the proper sons, putra. In fact, Rishabdev is telling to his sons that one should not be in any relationship if one is not able to uplift one's dependents from this world's material existence. Guruna sasyat, swajanuna sasyat, jaranina sasyat, pitana sasyat. That this relationship has no meaning if one is not helping his relatives from getting freed from these cycles of birth and death. So the real putra is one who will help his parents get over this material existence. So after a chastisement to the ocean, then the monkeys actually cross over and reach the other end. So actually Hanumanji, when he burned the Lanka, he gave Ravana this warning that I'm just one monkey, and see how much havoc I have caused for you, how much destruction I have caused. If you don't return Sita, then many monkeys who are equally powerful as me will come, and then you will see the outcome. So that's what happened here. So all the monkeys came and they covered all the surface of Lanka, all the tops, all the streets, everything was covered. Actually in the Valmiki Ramayana, the count is given how many monkeys are there. Can anybody imagine how many monkeys were there in Lord Ram's army? Millions? Millions is like very small number compared to the number that they mentioned. So let's talk in terms of how many zeros can you imagine on one, that many monkeys. So millions have 9 zeros, right? So I'm saying that that's a small number. So what number can you think? Trillion is also small. So that's going linearly. That will not cut it. You have to go think big. So actually what happened when all the monkeys came on this side, Ravana came to rooftop and he was seeing it was an ocean of monkeys. And he asked his minister, Shuka, that please tell me how many monkeys are there. Then he first gave him a math lesson that, my dear sir, first you understand how the counting works. He explained to him. He started from the koti, crore. Crore is 10 to the power 7, 7 zeros, right? He said, you know koti, right? Yeah, I know that. So when you add 100 such koti, that become Shanku. When you add hundreds of Shanku, it becomes Mahashanku, Vrindam, Mahavrindam, Padmam, Mahapadmam, Kharvam, Mahakharvam, Samudram, Mahasamudram, Oga, Mahaoga. And then he says there are thousands of such Mahaogas. So almost 10 to the power 50s. 50 zeros. So that's the counting he gave, explained to this, that so many monkeys. So this is like mind-boggling. I cannot imagine that. How can there be such monkeys? So many monkeys came, and then the great battle ensued between the both sides. And the monkeys are not trained fighters. They are not professionals. They don't have proper weapons, right? And the Ravana side is experienced warriors. They have fought with the demigods. They have defeated demigods. They are like such an experience of battle. So, but here the verse says, and Prabhupada also explains, that Ravana's side was condemned by the anger of Mother Sita. So it was destined to lose. So Prabhupada says in the purport, there are two kinds of strength, Daiva and a Purushakar, that the spiritual strength and the one's own material strength. So spiritual strength is what we should seek, and Prabhupada quotes that Krishna tells Arjuna that Ma Manushmara Yuddhacha, that we should rely on the spiritual strength, not on our material strength. We should take shelter of spiritual strength and try to achieve big feats on behalf of Lord. Taking shelter on the spiritual strength, in the shelter of the Lord. Ma Manushmara, remember Krishna and Yuddhacha. And what does Krishna says? That if you remember me, Maschita Sarvadurgani Mat Prasada Tarishasi, that if you remember me and then you engage in service, then all kinds of difficulties will be overcome by you, by my mercy. So now comes the last episode in this today's verses. The Ravana finally came. When all his side one by one were killed, he was very frustrated. Then finally he has to come out to fight. And then Lord Ram and Ravana came face to face. So Lord Ram was fighting before that, but he was fighting on the ground. So for the last battle, the demigods didn't feel it right that Lord Ram is fighting on the ground, on the foot, and Ravana coming in the chariot. So Indra arranged for his own chariot, and I think chariot by Agnidev or maybe Indra, but Indra arranged his own charioteer, Matali, came, and then Lord Ram sat in the chariot, and then they were on the equal, and the fight happened. When I read these verses, I was taken aback that how Lord Ram rebuked Ravana. That was so amazing. Like when I think of Lord Ram's personality, I think of Saumya personality, very mild, mellow, kind. He is of course kind, but see this side of Lord Ram, it was very, very nice to see that. Okay, he felt real anger, and he said to Ravana so many different words. So what did he say to Ravana? That he says that you are the most abominable, lower than the man-eaters. You are like a stool. It says to Ravana. And then you are like a dog. So actually, I want to admit that whenever we make an offering, we should make an offering that is for the enjoyment of Lord's enjoyment. But there is we are not pure, especially I'm not pure, so there is a desire, such a nice dish is made, and after offering, I'm going to eat. That thought comes somewhere in the heart, right? Then I feel, we are like a dog. When you think like that, it's like a dog. So it's said that in the Vedic culture, when you are taking the offering to the Lord, you should not let a dog see that offering, because dogs have such an intense desire to enjoy that simply by seeing they will pollute the offering. So there's an analogy. So that's why the word dog is used, that what is there for the enjoyment of the master, dog has such a strong desire to enjoy that simply by seeing they will pollute by their consciousness. So Lord Ram is calling Ravana as dog, that you stole Sita in my absence, and therefore I will punish you like Yamraj punishes a sinful person. So we can draw a lot of parallel between a common Jiva's activity and Ravana's activity. When we hear the story of Ravana or Hiranyakashipu, it becomes very clear, this person is bad, he is demon, he should be punished, he did sinful activities, right? But the Bhagavatam is not just to hear about story of others, but to relate that to ourselves, to draw some action items. then only it's going to be helping us, not to just hear about stories of others, but to bring that into our life. We should see the Ravana within us. So whenever we try to enjoy anything, we are being Ravana, actually. Because everything is meant for the enjoyment of Lord Ram. Everything is meant for the enjoyment of Lord, right? So we are his part and parcels. We are supposed to give him enjoyment. I just remember that today there was no light in our house since morning. We got delayed in coming here. So I was trying to shave and there was no light. So I was trying to put my phone's light onto the mirror initially. And I was not getting it properly. Then I realized, oh man, we have to put the light on my face and then the reflection will be lit, right? So I made it remember the teaching that we have to serve the Lord and we are his part and parcels. So if we serve the Lord, then we will be happy. That's a natural relation, right? So it's very simple. So everything is meant for the enjoyment of the Lord. So whenever we try to enjoy independent of the Lord, which is like in the absence of Lord, just like Ravana stole Sita in the absence of Lord, trying for his own enjoyment, that is the mentality we have, Ravana-like mentality. So if we do that, then Ravana is very fortunate that Lord Ram personally came to punish him. Maybe for us, Yamaraj will come to punish us. What's a sin? One may say that sin is to harm others, to torture others. No, the real sin is that we try to enjoy away from the Lord. That's a real sin. And then it expands into many different forms of expressions that now, not only from the Lord, we want to enjoy, not to give share with others, fight with others. So all of those things comes as a byproduct. But the real sin is that trying to enjoy away from the Lord. So there's a parallel of Lord Ram coming to punish, and Lord Ram is also giving an analogy that Yamaraj punishes just like sinful people. I am coming to punish you. So we can remember that Yamaraj punishing is, there's a parallel there. And how after Lord Ram shot arrow at Ravana, he fell down. Similarly, if we skip Yamaraj somehow by being pious, materially pious, and we go to heaven, then we will also fall back. Shidai Punya Martalokam Vishanti. We will fall back from the Swarga Loka back to the earth, just like Ravana fell from his plane down to. So this is a parallel. We can try to understand that this is our story, that if we do not correct our ways, then this is the result we will also undergo. So coming back, so Lord Ram is actually very kind. When I think of qualities of Lord Ram, the forgiveness stands out. Like there are many wonderful qualities. For me, the forgiveness quality of Lord Ram stands out for me personally. So when Vibhishana came to take shelter of Lord Ram, all the monkeys were doubting him, that he is coming from the camp of Ravana. We cannot trust. He is the brother of a demon. He himself is a demon. But Lord Ram asked Hanumanji, what do you think? Hanumanji said, when you are there, Lord, why do you have to worry? So only Hanumanji could understand actually the mind of Lord Ram at that time. Then Lord Ram made that famous promise, Sakradev Parpanasmi, that anybody who comes seek my shelter, I have to give them the shelter. Dadati Abhayam. What is that, Prabhu? Do you remember that? Yes. So forever I give them this boon of fearlessness. Forever. If you just come and ask once that, Lord, I am yours. So that's the promise of Lord. So he addressed Bibhishan, oh Rajan, you are welcome here. So then Sugriva asked that, Lord, you have asked Bibhishan as Rajan. That means you are giving him kingdom of Lanka, right? He said yes. So he actually, Lord Ram actually did the coronation ceremony for Vibhishan, that you are going to be the king of Lanka. Ravana is going to get killed. So then somebody asked Lord Ram, but if Ravana comes and asks forgiveness, then he said, yeah, then I will forgive him also. Then where will Ravana rule? He said, oh, he is also king, so I will give him Ayodhya. Then he said, then what will happen to your brothers, Lakshmana, Bharat, Shatrughan? They said, oh, I will give them Vaikuntha. They will rule there. Then where will you live? Then I will live in the heart of my devotees. So Lord Ram is so giving. In fact, when Lord Ram went back to Ayodhya, then there were so many wonderful ceremonies always going on. And one such occasion, when he was doing yajna, he gave away all the wealth to the Brahmanas, all the sages, Brahmanas. He gave all the wealth, all the kingdom to all of them, and he had nothing left. So he is so good in giving that he gave everything away. And those brahmanas, they felt so obligated to Lord that, oh, what we'll do? We have no business dealing with this. Please take it back. So they gave everything back to Lord Ram. That was a culture in the Vedic. Now we can't imagine like when some priest come and we just give all the wealth to the priest, he will return back. No. So that's the nature of Lord Ram's giving. So these are few thoughts. Like 822, Prabhu, I don't want to violate the rules. So let's stop here. So any questions or comments, please share some nectar that you remember from Lord Ram. It's like an ocean. We should do one full month of Lord Ramayana actually.
I was really appreciating your point of thinking of Lord Ram as this kind, compassionate, and him showing his anger, and it was such an appropriate. It's such an appropriate lesson of what Srila Prabhupada says in the Nectar of Instruction, that there is only a couple reasons why we show anger, right? Mm-hmm. If one offends the Lord or his devotees. And Lord Ram is, so angry because Ravana has kidnapped Sita, which is completely abominable, and completely ridiculous. And so, he has a mission. And so, I'm guessing my question would be was the ocean showing, how is his anger appropriate to the ocean for not following his order or what? You know what I mean? Because we get these reasons for anger, but I'm curious what Lord Ram's appropriate reasoning for being mad at the ocean was.
That's interesting. You're saying that ocean has a right not to help, right? Yeah.
We have always have a choice to help or not. But Lord Ram also has a appropriate reason to get angry or not. And I'm just curious, can we find a lesson in here?
That's a good point. And that will make me go into Valmiki Ramayana and read that section more carefully. I think, we'll try to establish. So Lord Ram is actually the king of Bharatvarsh. And that's the reason he gave when he killed Vali. So when he killed Vali, he said, Vali asked him, what's the right you have to kill me from behind my back? Why didn't you come to fight face to face like proper warriors, right? Lord Ram said, first of all, you are an animal. So we can hunt animal, right? And second, you don't deserve that respect. You have stolen the wife of your brother and you are unjust, so you can be punished. And I am the ruler, Kshatriya ruler, and I have to ensure the proper justice. So from there, we understand that Lord Ram is the king of the whole Bharatvarsh. And ocean, land and ocean are under his rule. So because of that, they should respond to him, obey him. He is a king. And he is coming in a nice, gentle way, just making requests. And for 3 days he sat with patience that come and respond to me, talk to me, and discuss with me. And he is just neglecting. Then he said, okay, you are not behaving properly. I should correct you. This is my understanding.
That's a really great point, Prabhu. I was really appreciative. Because, the king, a proper king, is a representative of the Lord. And so you could say that she's actually being offensive to the Lord.
Yes.
But Lord Ram being detached. Anyways,
yes.
We could go there that we need to, when we have positions of leadership, we also have to look at what's best for the people that we're helping. So it's such a great point, Prabhuji. Very nice. Hare Krishna.
When you asked the question, I had no answer, but somehow
I could see it for wow, that was interesting.
Yeah. That's the power of Vyasasana actually.
Thank you so much for the lovely class. The section of where Lord Ram is accepting Vibhishan and he's making the statement of that whoever takes my shelter, I will give them that forever boon of fearlessness. So what does that shelter look like? Because oftentimes we may act in a certain way. We may say, oh Krishna or Prabhupada, we take shelter of you. But what does shelter look like in our lives? What would that look like?
I think our Acharya Rupa Goswami described what's the meaning of taking shelter, 6 symptoms of Sharanagati. That's a proper definition of shelter. That accepting favorable and rejecting unfavorable, meek and humble, always believing Lord will protect. So those are the symptoms. But here Lord is saying that even if you're not doing that, you're just coming and saying, Lord, I'm yours. The Lord will give that fearlessness. So that's like a hook anchor has been created. Now it's going to grow from that point. So, so the protection is there. Now it's a matter of time and manifestation for you to experience that more. So Lord's protection is always there. If we feel fearfulness, it's our problem. Actually, we should not feel. We should have firm faith. Lord will protect always. He's always protecting. So He has already arranged for us to be fearless at that point when we take His, when we approach Him. And when we actually start acting, not just saying, with using those 6 symptoms of Sharanagati, then it will also manifest more and more. Yeah. Any other comment on this?
Thank you, Prabhu, for nice class. So just extending the question that he was asking. So you mentioned that forever fearless. So that means like once you can do whatever and you will stay on that platform?
That is never philosophically correct from Tattva understanding. But that guarantee is there. It will just delay. Like you are going from Dallas to New York in train. We don't go in train here. In India, Mumbai to Delhi in train, right? On the way, you hit a city called Surat or Ahmedabad. So whatever progress you made, now you just get off the train, go around, enjoy the city. So you're delaying your progress. It's just like that. So that journey is there and you still have the ticket. You can still board onto the train. More trains are coming, you can board on. It's like that. So how much you want to delay is up to you. You means anybody. And but that guarantee, the support is already given for you. It's like that. So we have to reciprocate. So Lord, if the Lord could actually, if Lord would have wanted to control everything about us, then we would have been robots, right? So He does His part. He's just making promise of His part. Then we have to take advantage of that. We have to reciprocate. So that is our part. And because of not doing our part, we may delay things. That is like that.
Thank you for the nice analogy. I had just another additional question. You were mentioning how we should operate on spiritual strength, not material strength. So, I mean, this is a very deep point, I feel. We tend to rely on our material strength because, okay, these are the skills, abilities, qualities, so this is my nature. And we've also been given instructions, act according to your nature. But when you're saying rely on spiritual strength, then it's like, you know, depending on the strength of your faith, on Guru, Sadhu. So then it's like, yes, we know Prabhupada has done things like, you know, at his age, because he was just depending on the instruction of his spiritual master. So then how to understand, like, you know, sometimes you feel like don't act according to your nature, just rely on spiritual strength. What does that mean? How do we actually apply it in our lives?
Yeah, I think relying on a spiritual strength and not on a material strength does not call for being impractical. It calls for you being ambitious and think big and rely on Lord to support and help you, send help. In that way, sometimes when we rely on our material strength, we can't even think big and we get scared even before making a big plan on behalf of Lord. So making big plan we can do, but to execute it, we can still pursue it practically. See who is proper, who is appropriate to do what service. There we can be practical, but we can always think big, that we want to reach out to whole Dallas. But maybe I may not be able to speak as good as this devotee may be able to speak. Maybe I should arrange for him to go there and speak. So all those are practical adjustments. But the thinking big and working from behind the scene, nobody is preventing that. We can always do that. So we can always mix being practical and still relying on spiritual strength to think unimaginable big things for Lord. This is how I understand Mataji.
There's a wonderful lecture by Srila Prabhupada on Nityananda Prabhu's appearance day, and he talks about Bala, strength, and he talks about the spiritual strength. I really highly suggest taking a look, because the strength comes from Guru, right? And it's not so, we should act in our nature, but we're so surrendered to Guru and Krishna that if they asked us to do anything, we jump, right? So it's not that we don't act within our nature, but we're willing to go above our nature, above anything, is that I'm a Vaishnav, meaning that I'm surrendered completely to Krishna and Guru,
Yeah. No, please go ahead.
On the point that Mataji was saying, Krishna says, I am the ability in man, right? When you say it's material strength, we think it's me. But spiritual strength is where we think, okay, Krishna has given me this ability, but it is coming from Krishna. So we work from that perspective, rather than how Ravana was doing, thinking, I am all powerful, devoid of what God has given me, whatever is bestowed upon us. But in his case, it's karma, and therefore that's why in the purport Prabhupada is saying it's not a secure position to be in, right? That ability will fade away.
Yes.
That's why he fell. That is material, depending on your material strength.
Yes.
So that
Very
was
good
my
point.
thinking.
Very good point. Just like the heat and cold, both are energies, two forms of energies. So this matter is also energy of Lord, and the spiritual is also energy of Lord. But once we see the connection with Krishna, then the matter becomes spiritual. So everything is connected to Krishna. That's, yeah.
There's an amazing sentence in this purport that Srila Prabhupada says, freedom, he says something about freedom, and that freedom is not being subject to any designation. Did anybody remember that sentence? It was an amazing sentence here, if I can find it real quick here.
Yes.
Freedom. Well, he possibly, but he has a sentence.
It is therefore advised that one transcend both pious and impious activities and remain in the pure state of freedom from all designations.
Hare Krishna, Nanda Kumar Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. I was reflecting on the what you were speaking about with Jatayu, and that he technically didn't succeed in his endeavor, but Krishna appreciated it so much. Well, Lord Ram appreciated it so much, and I was wondering, sometimes in our endeavors in Sankirtan and in the Sankirtan Yagya, we want to share Krishna consciousness with so many people. We do a big festival, maybe we do a Rath Yatra, and then it rains, or nobody came to the event, or there's different kind of moments that feel like a failure in trying to share Krishna consciousness. And I'm kind of wondering why does Krishna, because we're saying we try our best and we leave the result up to Krishna, and sometimes the result that Krishna chooses is failure, or seemingly failure. So I'm wondering, why does Krishna sometimes seem to slow down his own Sankirtan movement? It seems, so many souls could have become devotees. Doesn't Krishna want that? Doesn't Krishna want as many people as possible to hear the holy name? But then these obstructions come up.
Yes. See, if we can comprehend Krishna with our intelligence, then he won't be God. So he is beyond our calculations, our abilities to understand what's best, right? That's where the element of faith on Lord comes. Even I was seeing this picture, the gopis went to forest and Krishna called them with the flute and then they came and then disappeared. What's the point? like you came and then don't you want to enjoy that for which you called here? So similarly, here we are trying to bring the souls back to Krishna so they can participate in the pastimes of the Lord. So it's good that why doesn't he support our success there? So actually every soul's journey Krishna is overseeing that personally, every soul's journey. He knows what's best for everybody. He knows what's best for us also. And sometimes the taste of failure is good for us. Sometimes we may become proud by too much success. So there's always so many different dynamics going on, and Lord knows best. What is best for us, what's best for others. So we should simply do our part and always maintain Utsahat principle that Rupa Goswami has explained. Utsaha Nishayat Dharyat. So that's our test, that's our growth in the spiritual life. By experiencing that setback, still maintaining same enthusiasm and serving, we will make such a leap of progress in Krishna consciousness by doing that. That's an opportunity. Everything is an opportunity for us to make tremendous progress in the spiritual life. So, and when we do that, and Lord will make sure to connect the right souls to us and they will benefit. So sometimes it's difficult to understand the calculations, how it's working out, but we should maintain the faith on the Lord. There's nothing, like even if we would have done that, the souls would have come. We don't know ultimately how much progress they would have made. It's all between Lord and the jivas, and we are simply tools and instruments in the hands of the Lord. So we, instrument never complain, they just engage in the master's service, however master want to use it. Sometimes sword just is moved in the air, sometimes it hits the goal and cuts it. So it's in the hands of master. So we are simply swords in the hands of master, and he will use us as he likes. So, and it's our opportunity to grow and go beyond that, mindset. Prabhupada was always enthusiastic. So sometimes devotees arranged a big festival, big Panda lecture. Nobody came. Prabhupada was encouraging them, see, the four walls are there, demigods are there, please be encouraged. So he has taught us that enthusiasm. So that's all I could share, Prabhuji.
A question from Rupanuga Prabhu in the Kalashanji Srimad Bhagavatam community chat. Why is Lord Ramachandra so much influenced by the words of one low-class man that he would give up the company of his exalted wife? Wouldn't that give an excuse to an ordinary man to give up his wife for no good reason?
Okay, that's how we understand it's a one low class man, the comment. But actually what Lord Ram is seeing, that he is a king and he has to set an example, and it's important for the citizens to have firm faith on the king to be able to follow the instructions and the rule properly. So if they start having doubt on the character of the king, then it will not be good for the kingdom, and the peace will be destroyed. So Lord Ram is willing to make personal sacrifice to instill faith in the citizens. So it's an example of his greatness that he is sacrificing his personal relation so that people can maintain faith on him. It's just not one. He is thinking of that as a little, what is that? Chingarikur? Trigger or little fire. That could create fire, in the spark. It's like a spark, and he is preventing that spark right then and there by acting appropriately and instilling faith in the kingdom. So that's my understanding. Yeah, that low-class man, the washerman, made a comment to his wife that, oh, you stayed so many hours away from home and you think I'll accept you back in my family? Lord Ram accepted. I'm not like Lord Ram. I'm not like Ram. So he made that comment, and that is making negative comment. Yeah, king does not have a high character or something like that. Yeah. Okay, 8:40, 41. Okay, let's stop there. We are rule bade. Hare Krishna. Ramayan ki jai. Hare Krishna Prabhupada ki jai.